Welcome back. We're starting with Module 2. It looks like Larry and I have survived the break.
Woo.
And we are going to now get started with a Office 365 trial.
I can't wait.
So this is Module 2. In this module, we're going to switch to demo mode. We want to actually do this stuff. We want to play with this stuff, and we want to show you how it's done. So we're going to sign up for a trial. We're going to show you the process of signing up for initial domain. And then we're going to add some users. And then we're going to use OA. So we're going to send each other some mails and show you what OA is like. And then we can get going and start using the system. So the first step is obviously to sign up for the trial, and in this section we're going to take you through the process. So part of this process, you need to provide some contact details. Obviously you need to have a super user that's outside of Office 365, that if you want to reset the password, that it will go to that mail. So you have to think very carefully about that account, so that if somebody tries to reset your super user or your administrator account, that password challenge will go to that account. So it needs to be an account that you trust and that nobody else can put their hands on. A very important thing as well that we're going to look at is the naming of your tenant. Now, you have lots of options. You can call it demo this or play with this or something like that, but you might like it, and then you're going to be stuck with that name that you chose for your tenant. So you have to be quite careful when you choose the tenant, because that name does pop up from time to time in the various systems. So you want to make sure that it's a name that people would be familiar with, or that people would not be afraid to use. You know, if it's a silly name, then people might just think that your whole Office 365 pilot is a joke. So rather start serious with something that users can associate with. Then you have to nominate your administrator. So the first account that you create is going to be the administrator account. So again, think carefully about that account, and who's going to have access to that account, and how you're going to manage the rights to that account. If you make it a specific user, so if you make it a specific username, and your administrator resigns and he goes to another company, then that account will have a different username. So maybe you should create a generic administrator account as the first administrator account. And then also important decision when you set up your trial is to choose your location, because this will determine where your Office 365 tenant will be created. So if you're in the US, it will be created in the US data centers. If you're somewhere in EMEA, it will be created in the European data centers, and then if you're in the Asia Pacific area, it will be created in the Asia Pacific data centers. So this becomes important when you have lots of users that connects to the service. You want to make sure that you use your bandwidth effectively, and you don't have issues with latencies and so on. So the location is important. I know that some companies are represented around the world. So you have users that are in all three of those regions, and you have to then decide which one is the region that makes the most sense for your organization. Maybe that's the bulk of your users, maybe that's where your head office is, maybe that's where the CEO sits, because you want to make sure he's happy all the time. So choose your location very carefully. So I think let's get cracking. So let's start that demo.
Okay.
Okay, so I have my favorite browser open here with my favorite search engine, and I'm going to then go to, so you need to go to office@microsoft.com to go and sign up for a trial. So this is the page that is available to to users, for all users. So it's consumer users, all users will see this page. So when you want to sign up for Office 365 trials, you need to look at this for business part. So if you go for the click on the for business section here, you will be able to sign up for Office 365 trial. On this page, on the Office 365 for business side, you will also be able to differentiate between small business and the enterprise side. This page is, oh, there we go. So this is Office 365 for business. So if you sign up directly here if you want to see how this works and look at the plans, if you just do it on this page, you're going to sign up for a small business or medium business plan. And for our purposes, we want to sign up for enterprise plan because we want to show all the features. So it's important to actually go and scroll down to this option here at the bottom that's where that says enterprise, that will allow you to sign up for enterprise plan.
Okay, that's important.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So now we on the enterprise page, and we have a nice description of Office 365 and some of the information that's available, and some testimonies of customers and so on that's available in on this page.
And you got testimonies for each of the different workloads. That's great.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Let's look at some of the plans that we talked about earlier.
There we go.
So here we have some of the business plans that is available. So this is small business, the business premium, as well as the mid-size business. And here's a link as well to see more advanced pricing options. Strange, we have a refresh.
Well, those prices look really reasonable.
So those are the enterprise plans with all the features that are available for those enterprise plans. So you can, if you scroll down, you see all of these plans that are available, and then here's a button.
Hey, that's an important button.
Free trial. So let's try this.
All right, Office 365 E3. Okay. Great. And so that matrix corresponded to that same one that we were looking at in the slides, right?
Yep.
Great. And it just can't.
Ooh. Okay, so I think this site is trying to sign in with my local credentials, so I'm just going to open it up in private browsers.
Okay. Ah, the beauty of a live event.
Yeah. No, I don't want to go there. So this is just another shortcut to go and sign up for a trial.
Okay, but it gets you to the same place we were before, right?
Aha.
All right.
So this is where we start the whole process, and where I said you need to think carefully about what you enter in this in this page. So first of all, the country, United States. This cannot be changed after sign up. So you can hover on that link to see we use your region information to deliver the right services. This can't be changed because Office 365 services vary by region.
And part of that is the regulations that they have.
The regulations.
Right.
You may be in a country that does not allow people to use voice over IP.
Gotcha.
So there might be a law that says if you want to make a phone call, in this country, then you have to use the local public telephone system, and then we will ensure that you comply to those laws. So it's important to choose the right country. Then you choose so this is first name. I'm going to use my name and my surname. And then you have to enter a email address. So this is the email address that I mentioned previously that will be used as a final resort when you want to reset that first password. So,
right.
And it's also used for contact information for those users. So I'm just going to enter my Hotmail account here. And then you have to enter a phone number so that we have that contact information as well. So I'm just going to enter a dummy phone number. And then, Larry, that company of yours, it's called Contorso.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so let's...
It took me, several months to figure out that name.
Contorso. So there's our initial sign up. Click on next. So, and now we're gonna enter the username. So this is the username that I mentioned previously that will be the first user ID in Office 365. So this could be something like just admin, or it could be the first user like John or something like that. I like to keep it generic, so that it can be handed over to the next administrator, and it's not...
So John's probably not a generic enough account.
So let's use admin.
Okay.
And then the company name, this is where I mentioned that you need to think about what you're going to call your tenant. This tenant, if we're going to just use Contorso, you will see in a moment that it's going to check and say, well, Contorso's already taken. Somebody registered that name already.
So maybe I should have spent a year thinking of a new name. Huh?
Yeah. Or somebody in your organization actually already signed up for Office 365 trial.
Another business group, perhaps?
Yes.
Okay.
So it might be a good idea to go and find out if it's already signed up, and you can go and talk to them so that you can reuse that name, especially if it was a name, the only name of the company, that you don't want to add something like incorporated or some suffix to that name so that it's unique again.
Right.
So I'm gonna just add a number to it so that we and I just randomly chose that number.
Okay.
To see if that is available. And oh, nice one. So it is available. Then it requires a username for that first user that we're going to create, and a password. And this password needs to have 8 to 16 characters. It avoids names or words that are familiar that anybody can guess. So the usual things like password, one, and so on will not be accepted by Office 365. You need to create something that is a bit more complex and
so kind of your standard strong password kind of algorithm thing.
Yes. Yep. But even some people use play on the word password, where they have instead of the S's they have dollars, and instead of the O they have a zero. Even those are not allowed by Office 365.
That's good. So it's smart enough to...
Yeah, so it really wants you to go and create a password that nobody will be able to guess in a million years. So...
hey, and it's strong. Good.
And it gives me assessment of my choice.
Excellent.
And if I click on next, and then it wants to verify that I'm a real person. So it wants to make sure that I'm not some sort of internet bot trying to sign up a lot of Office 365 tenants so that I can use that to spam people out there in the world. So I can use this mechanism to go and enter my telephone number. It will send me a text message, and then I enter the one-time PIN that they will send to me on my phone, and then that will verify that I'm a real person.
Perfect.
Okay, so I'm going to skip that because I've already signed up before with another account, so I don't need to complete the step, but it's basically the final step is you enter this text message, number that they send to you, and then you're in. So this is, as you see here, the final step of the process.
Right.
Okay.
Great.
So I'm just going to sign in with my account that I already have, and I broke the rules and I called my account Heidi. She is Contoso 717 at onmicrosoft.com.
No.
The offer that you want is unavailable. This might be caused by some reasons. Oh, I think it's still thinking that I'm in the setting up a trial process.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. I'm just going to close my browser and sign in.
All right. So once you get in there, then I can start playing around with some things.
Yeah. So I'll quickly show you some screens, and then
Okay, so we're in the E3 plan.
Once I've entered that text message and I clicked on next,
Yep.
This is the page that people will see. So they will see install Office on your PC with Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, and OneNote, and also the services that are available. So you will see here that in my case, because I signed up for this already, all of these services are already lit up. There's colors associated with it, but if you just signed up, they will all be black. So they will be in a provisioning mode. So it takes a couple of minutes before they are available. They're not available immediately. And some of these services take a little bit more time than the others, but it's just there so that people are, you have a way of monitoring if they are available or not. So they initially black, and then once that service is available, like Outlook and the calendar and people and so on, they will then turn blue like they are here.
Okay.
And this is where people can then use the services. So that brings us to, that concludes actually signing up for Office 365 trial. So
That's pretty easy.
Pretty easy.
Now, is the button up on the top there for purchase? Does it allow you to convert the trial into a full subscription?
Once you decided that this is the best thing since sliced bread, and you want to go ahead and buy it, you just click on that button and you enter your credit card details, and it's then yours to use.
Excellent.
Okay. So let's go back to our presentation. So that is the Office 365 signing up for trial. So it's really easy. So the one thing that I want to point out is that I went through a lot of website screens, click here, click there. So it's a bit confusing to find those initially. What I would recommend is there's a website called deploy.office.com. If you go to deploy.office.com, you will get the link to sign up for a trial immediately. So the second time I went to the website, I used that.
Right, notice
so
that.
That is a faster way of getting to signing up for a trial.
And that still gave you the option in choosing of which particular business scenario?
Yes, yeah. So there was two options, enterprise and medium business. So any of those two, pretty quickly.
Gotcha.
So
what's next?
Next. So we talked about the process of signing up for the trial.
Yep.
Next, we need to do is we need to set up a initial domain. So the domain that you get when you sign up for Office 365 is a onmicrosoft.com domain. Okay. So it's company name .onmicrosoft.com. Now you can use that, but it's not really unique. It doesn't say much about your company. The name is in there, but you still have the on Microsoft part as well. So you want to probably make Office 365 use your domain. So you want to register your domain that you have in your organization. So if it's Contorso, you would be able to then register your domain and then give everybody a contorso.com email address, and they can use that to sign in and so on. So the next step that you want to probably do before you create other users is register that domain so that it's available for your other users to do. So let's get going with signing up for an initial domain. So as I said, this is our startup page in Office 365 once we set up a trial. So this is one of the common admin tasks that you want to do. So if we go to the administrative portal, we get to this dashboard where immediately we see our service health. We see that there's no issues with Exchange. The identity service is fine. All of these things, you have a nice view of what's happening in your tenant, and if there's anything wrong or if there's any services that are not performing correctly at this stage.
Nice little dashboard.
Yes. We have a button here called Setup, and Setup also takes you through some steps that you want to go and do to create users, mailboxes, share documents. So this is a nice way of also getting going quickly with Office 365. So you have the quick start, which gets you going very quickly, or you have extended setup, which actually helps you to set up the advanced features like directory synchronization or migrate your email. If you currently have Active Directory and you want to synchronize your users that is on-premise Active Directory, you set up directory synchronization, which pushes all your users to Office 365 so that people can use the same username. And if you create a user on your Active Directory, that user will be automatically provisioned in Office 365.
Now, can you start with Quick Start and then later on come back for the advanced script? Okay, that's great.
Yeah, you can just, maybe you want to pilot this. So you do a Quick Start and you just want to play with it right now. Set a couple of people up in the office so that they can use that for playing with Office 365, and then decide that this is the right thing to do, and then you move on and enable some of the extended services.
So let's say I go through Quick Start and I later do the extended setup, and you're saying that if I take the trial and then convert it to a full subscription, I don't have to do that work over again?
No, not at all.
Great.
So you carry all of that forward.
Cool.
Okay. And then, we also have some other options like users, where you create users, groups, where you can go and create groups, so to assign permissions to, and then domains. Domains is where you want to also sign up for or register other domains.
Okay, so that's what we want to do, right?
Yeah, we want to sign up another domain. So we make
that's great. And you got a button there for buy domain if you don't have one already set up, and then it'll go to. Okay, great.
Yeah, so we have a buy domain which takes you to GoDaddy, and you can go and register a domain. So it takes all the hard work of verifying the domain and so on out, and it will do it for you. Or if you already have a domain and if you are proficient in DNS setup, you can use the add domain functionality to provision that yourself. Okay. So we click on add domain here. We have to go through a series of steps to start using that domain. So the first step here is we need to specify the domain name and confirm that we own that domain. You can't go and register another domain. So even if I love another company and I want to be known as that company, I have to own that DNS records to be able to use it.
That makes sense.
And so that, you can't use this to spam other people. So you have to confirm that you own that domain. So if we start with the first step, we can enter the domain. So I'm just going to enter a domain. I won't be able to complete this, but we'll see the different steps that is required. So if we enter the domain, click on next. The next step it asks you is you need to confirm that you own this domain. So Contorso 717 is my domain, and I have to show Office 365 that this belongs to me. So if I bought the domain, it will be able to do this myself. But if I don't if the domain is hosted by one of these other DNS providers, then I can look at the instructions that they give me here to go and verify the domain. So I'm just going to look at the general instructions.
Sure.
And for the general instructions, to make it applicable to everybody, this is where you have to go and create certain types of DNS records in the DNS system that will tell Office 365 that you are the owner of that domain. Only the owner of the domain can obviously make changes in DNS for that domain. And there's two ways of doing it. So the one way is to create a text record. It's a special type of DNS record that contain any type of text. So in the root of the domain, so that's the first way of creating the domain, we create a record that says ms equals ms77347945, which is unique to this domain. If I create this record in my DNS as a text record, and it's then available to Office 365 or to the internet users to go and verify, then this step will be able to conclude, and I will be able to show Office 365 that I own it. We do know that some people actually, or some DNS providers, don't have the ability to host text records. It may be an older DNS system. They don't have text records types available. So in those cases, we tell people to create a MX record. So we create the MX record with that value, which then also tells Office 365 and the internet that you own this domain. And then, so once you've done that, you save your changes, you go back to your to this site, and you click on Verify Now, and Office 365 will go ahead and it will query your DNS system. So it will follow the root of authority. It will see Contorso.com is hosted on this DNS server. It will then query that DNS server to find the TXT record. If the TXT record is there, it will verify that this value that it gave you is the value that you registered, and then it will say, yes, you own that domain. And then also, see, this value will be unique for every session. Also, it will then check if there's no text record. It will try the MX record and then verify that that value exists. And then you will be able to use that domain. So I'm going to just continue later, because I don't own this domain. So once that domain is verified, you've told Office 365 that it is yours. You can go ahead and assign users and licenses to use that domain. So you can then create a username at contorso.com so that they use that to log on with on Office 365. Okay. And you know, it's a good idea when you create those users to make it similar to something that they already know, like their email address. If they know their email address, they should know their username if it's the same thing.
Right.
But if it's something different, then people forget, and then that causes help desk issues, and they're going to call the help desk and say, I forgot my username, especially after a long vacation during summer, and then you know, that just rises your support costs. Then once you've created users and assigned licenses to those users, you can tell Office 365 what to use that domain for. So you can tell Office 365 that this domain is used for email. I want to use this contorso.com to receive email on. And so that will become their primary email address. So if they send emails, it will go from their contorso.com email address. And if they receive email, if you set up the MX records correctly in Office 365, and part of this final step will tell you what you have to set those MX records to, then they will be able to receive those emails in Office 365 directly. So I'm going to cancel this step, and for now I'm just going to use the contorso717 at onmicrosoft.com domain, because I don't have that domain, I can't verify it, and then use that for our other demos. So that is how simple the setting up a domain is. You first need to go and specify the domain, you have to verify the domain, and then you have to go and tell Office 365 what you want to use that domain for. You can use it for email, you can use it for link, or you can use it maybe for SharePoint.
Or a combination thereof, right?
Yeah, or a combination thereof. Okay, so let's continue with our quest with signing up a trial.
Okay.
Next step is to add users. So it's pretty lonely on my trial right now. It's just me, that one user, Heidi, and she can send mail to people on the outside world, but you know, Office 365 is about businesses. We want to collaborate in our business. We want to create users that we can send email to. We want to schedule meetings with them and so on. So I think right now, let's create a new user.
Okay.
So when we create new users, we can do it one by one. If you're a small organization, you can do this one by one, create them, click through all the options and all the steps. It's not that difficult, but if it's more than a couple of users, then you may want to look at other options to go and create users. And so we have the ability to bulk add users using a CSV file. You can create a comma separated values file with the a username in there, the first name and all the contact information, and then upload that file into Office 365, and it will then automatically create those users for you. So that's a nice option for bigger organizations. But if you're even bigger organization, you may want to look at the directory sync options, where you upload your current Office 365 directory to, or your Active Directory to Office 365, and then provision those users automatically in Office 365. So that is another way of bulk creating users in Office 365. So really painless way of creating users. And then maybe you want to assign some administrators. At this stage, there's certain tasks that certain people want to do, and you want to assign those abilities to them specifically. And we're going to look at those different roles later on in our modules, but you can also assign administrators at this stage. So let's create some users. So if we go to users, we look at our active users, you see we have some Lonely Heidi. Heidi is the administrator as well, and we have some options here. So plus we'll just create a new user, and then here's an option to do a bulk add. So let's just quickly look at the bulk add options. Here you can upload a CSV file. So if
typical file chooser. Yeah.
Yes. If you want to see what this file looks like, you can download a sample file or a blank CSV file. So if you download the blank CSV file, you can just add your users in that CSV file, or you can give it to somebody to go and populate and give them a sample and say, this is what it must look like.
Okay.
And then you just browse to that file and upload it. Alternatively, let's create a specific user. So when we create a specific user, we have the ability to specify a name. So I'm going to create Larry.
Yay.
And it auto-populates your display name.
Wonderful.
And I like using first names as login names. Some organizations are very formal. It's surname, so it's surname or something like that. So use whatever is applicable to your organization.
Sure.
And then I have two options here. I can either say auto-generate a password or type in a password. So I'm going to say choose type in a password.
Okay.
So again, it checks for
You're good at this, man.
password, and
You're getting strong passwords every single time.
yep. And then we also mail that password to the administrator so that I can maybe print that out, give it to you, or something like that. Or if you have another account, I can mail it to that other account so that you have that username available to you.
Oh, perfect.
And then because we're on this enterprise trial, the plan E3 is assigned to this user.
Oh, great.
So pretty simple process to create a user. So I'm going to click on create. And there's the password displayed on screen. And so I'm going to just, I don't know if you saw that, but I'm going to just write the password for you down quickly so that you can log in with your account.
Okay.
So,
Should I do that now?
yeah. Or, yeah. Can you, so if you go to portal.office.com and log in.
Portal.office.com. I think I was there. I'm going to go there again.
And
Office.com. Yep, that's where I am. All right. And then I'm Larry at Contoso 717 on Microsoft.com. All right. Hold on. Okay.
okay.
Did I do something wrong?
I think that somebody has changed your password already.
Oh!
So let me reset the password quickly.
All right. Let's just remind Barry when to flip the screen so we don't see it again.
Okay. So okay, so I'm going to.
We appreciate your enthusiasm in making this a participation experience. Let's see if we can get in there. All right. Oh, that's much better.
Sorry, this is a.
Is there an umlaut somewhere in there too?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It is a couple of Chinese. It's a capital,
Yeah.
and then a lowercase.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Let's just see if we got that there. Hey, I'm in.
Okay, and now it's going to ask you that same password again.
Yep. And that won't be displayed on the screen. Thank goodness.
And luckily at this stage, it will show you the.
Yeah. All right. So I'll just do a little of. See if I can have the same mad skills that you do. I like that one. All right.
Okay, so now you have to log on with your new password. What's this called? Password musical chairs.
All right.
Okay, and you see that you see a same type of introductory screen that shows you what is available to you. So you have Word Online, Excel Online, and so on. And you have Outlook and the calendar and people. So let's look at, let's go to Outlook. which brings us to our next demo.
Okay. All right. Should we go Pacific time? Okay.
Okay, so
Nothing here.
that is the OWA Outlook web app that everybody is familiar with, and that allows you to write emails and look at your calendar and so on. So I'm going to just go to create a new email and show you that your name is available as in the GAL already, and you are actually online on I see as well in OWA. And I'm going to send you a nice video that I just found on the internet.
Remember, this is a family-friendly production.
Yes, no, this is one of my all-time favorites.
I hope there are no cats involved.
No promises there.
Oh, no.
So I'm gonna just send you a link and let me know if you get that.
Yep, there it is. Thank you, Heidi. Let's see what this looks like. And there's cats. Dang it! Should we bother?
So you'll notice the nice integrated experience that you get with Office 365 that shows the video inside of Office 365.
Yeah.
Because I don't know about you, whenever somebody sent me an Office 3 or a YouTube video link in the past and I go to YouTube, I get stuck there for at least 2 hours clicking on the next video and the next video and so on. So this keeps me focused. I only see that one video and then I can get back to work.
Okay. I guess it's your cat quota for the day. All right.
Yeah. Okay, so in this final module, we looked at how to use OWA. Obviously, OWA is not just about sending emails and videos about cats to other people, but it's about being productive. So you can schedule meetings in OWA, create, see who's available. So those enterprise features that is always required when you create a new meeting with people. You want to see what their calendar looks like, so that is available in Office 365. You have the ability to create contacts. The nice thing about those contacts is when you have a phone, they will be synced to your phone so that you have a way of managing your contacts in one place. If you lose your phone, it's not the end of your life because you lost all your contacts. It's all in the cloud. So you have the ability to manage all of those things in OWA in one place. So let's just quickly look at some of the other features that's available in OWA. So you notice up here on top, we have the calendar. It comes with different views. We have the month view. Some people have very light days. They may have one event a day, so they love the month view. But we also have other views like a week view, where you can see a whole week. So this is nice if you have a wide screen. The week view gives you a lot of information. And then you have the ability with just the work week, so Monday to Friday.
Because Saturdays and Sundays don't really count.
Yes.
Right.
And then also you have your day view. And you can easily just create meetings in here. You can enter a...
Just like you would in Outlook.
Just like you would create in Outlook. And everything is already enabled for you right there. If you look at the scheduling assistant, you can see people's availability and so on.
Yeah, I'm going to set up a meeting for us to review that cat video. All right with you?
Okay. I just want to add your name.
Oh, there. Okay.
So if I go and look here, we'll be able to see, oh, you've already booked a meeting. Other than that, you're not a really busy person. And then I'm going to cancel this. We have the people view. This is where you go and create contacts and manage all your contacts for the user. So that's really OA, and it's very similar to the OA that you are used to with Office 365 or with your Exchange on-premise environment. Oh, here's a cat video meeting. Let's do this career limiting move of accepting that meeting. Okay.
Ah, there we go.
Okay, so and that's OA. Simple, straightforward. People that are used to OA on-premise, people that are used to Outlook will be able to use it immediately. All they need to know is the URL. They go to portal.office.com and they log on with their username and password that you created.
Right.
Register the domain. It's something that they remember, and they will be able to use it directly or immediately. So just part of the sign-up process, I want to finally touch on Fast Track. Fast Track is a methodology that's available for people to help them migrate to Office 365. So if you're an organization that has more than 150 users, you can go to this website, and that's the website that I use for signing up for the trial, and you can sign up for the Fast Track process where they guide you through migrating to Office 365. So when you go to deploy.office365.com, there's a whole bunch of documentation and steps and so on that they share with you to make the process as painless and seamless as possible for your organization. And this really takes you from a pilot where you and a few of your colleagues start and use Office 365, and it takes you all the way to a massive enterprise deployment of getting everybody on board with everything that you need to know in between. So that brings us to the end of Module 2. In Module 2, we looked at the trial sign-up process. I took you through that steps. I showed you what's important, the location. I showed you that the username is important, the company name is important. All of those things are part of the Office 365 trial sign-up process. We did a quick tour, and we also mentioned Fast Track, where you can go and take you through a process of signing up and migrating to Office 365. So we're going to be back in about 10 minutes, and we're going to go deeper into all of these Office 365 services and use them and show you what's possible. See you in a while.
Can't wait.